We're now listening to the Dee Hankins Show. Life, curveballs, home runs, the Dee Hankins Show. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Dee Hankins Show, where we talk about life, help you with your curveballs, and celebrate your home runs. Last episode, I asked you all to pull your internal data with 3 baseline tests to help you get a hold of yourself so you can begin to build that resilient system. We had the ACEs score, we had an Enneagram, and then we had the love language test. Now, this is data, right? Data is just the warning light on your dashboard. Now, you can have the most powerful engine in the world, Lamborghini, Formula One. If that thing is misfiring and you don't know how to fix it, you're gonna end up stranded on the road beside everybody else that doesn't know how to fix their engine. This week, I had to deal with a lot of car trouble. And one of the things that I hate most is when your dashboard is lit up, right? You got tires and all these little pictures. They're all lit up, green, red, orange, flashing, beeping, all this other stuff. Now, it's crazy because like when that happens, you feel every little jerk when the car's like sputtering or whatever, and you just think it's bad, okay? So in order to get those things fixed, you got to take it into someone who knows how to read the diagnostic codes. We're talking about therapy and why it is the ultimate performance tool for your resilient system. This is episode 30, The Master Mechanic, Therapy. Let's get into it. Now, I know people hear therapy and automatically, if you've never been in it, you automatically feel a certain type of way. And I'll be honest, that used to be me, okay? I grew up in foster care. Therapy was a no-no for a long time. I didn't take it seriously until I became an adult. And boy, oh boy, did it help me get my car running at peak performance. But I used to look at it all wrong. Right? I used to view therapy as more like a tow truck where your life has to be completely wrecked in order for you to go. But now I know better. Therapy is more like a tuning shop, okay? Metaphorically, I want my car to run faster, run smoother, be more efficient, be able to handle rougher terrain, be able to handle the rain. That's what I want my car to do. I want to feel safe when I'm behind the wheel, okay? So you don't go to therapy because you're crazy or you're going crazy. You go because you want to understand how to control the data. You go because you want to master the mechanics of my own life and my own mind, right? You got to use therapy as preventative maintenance rather than disaster recovery, because that's when things can get really sticky. Now, I was asked this question one time. It's just like, well, why do I need therapy? What is it going to do for me? Which is a valid question, okay? I believe therapy enhances your resilience simply because we have, metaphorically speaking, blind spots, right? When you're in the car, you have blind spots, and you can't really drive the car and look under the hood at the same time. And this is why I encourage people to kind of take those tests and get out of the driver's seat, pop the hood open and go, okay, what are some things that I've been through? Why does my car run like this? Why does the engine sound like this? Why do my lights blink like this, right? It's really trying to figure out why you are, how you are. So a therapist can tell you, like, help you translate your ACEs score, help you translate your personality and your love language to see why or how you have been acting, or, you know, your past has kind of made you act, or wherever your mindset is and where the clash is. And, you know, I've had this situation where I was dating a girl. I didn't know her love language. I didn't care to find out. She didn't know my love language, didn't care to find out. And we just clashed. And when we got to therapy, we just spent the whole time being at each other's throats because we didn't understand. Now, if I knew my love language and I knew her love language, now we can go to the therapist and say, hey, these are where we're having these issues. And then that person can help us get us back to a sense of normalcy, to help us get us to understand the data, right? To understand these things. Same thing with ACEs score, same thing with your personality. Okay. Maybe you're in a high stress job and that's just not your personality type. If you bring this data to the mechanic, you got a low profile tires, yet you're traveling on gravel all the time where there's potholes and speed bumps and this like that, you're going to have problems with those tires. Those tires aren't meant for that type of terrain. And that's what therapy can do for you. So therapy gives you like this objective data that can help you fine tune the certain aspects of your life in real time. This is why I believe it helps you with resilience. Now, this is where I got therapy wrong. I thought therapy was sitting on a couch, just talking to this person who never responded back and just goes, yeah, how does that make you feel? And then the session is over. I paid them this amount of money and then I'm back to the drawing board. And that is because I was misrepresenting therapy. A lot of times people just think it's sitting on a couch venting. All right. If you've ever been to couples therapy, dude, it turns out it can go south real quick, right? It can go south real quick. You one person is saying everything, the other person is just like sitting there thinking like that didn't even happen like that. But you can't get a word out because they want you. Yeah, that's how we view therapy. And to be honest with you, sometimes it happens that way. But the real purpose of therapy is not to just vent, but to use it as a technical exercise. You don't want to use therapy to trauma dump. You want to use therapy to help you in real world scenarios. Like, for instance, let's use a professional setting, right? Without therapy, a demanding boss or high stakes project can really cause you to lose it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you've been stressed out, you live in a high stress or you work in a high stress environment with people that you don't really like something like this could really throw you for a loop. And therapy teaches you the mechanics of boundary setting, right? Setting boundaries so that you don't burn out. It shows you how to say no and protect your capacity to do work. Like a therapist is going to understand, after you explain these things, the therapist is going to understand your physical capacity. They're going to see that you're stretched out thin, and they're going to be able to say, hey, maybe you should take this off of your plate and spend more time doing this or less time doing this, or take it all off and reset. They're going to be able to do that for you. Okay. In regards to like relational issues, and this comes from personal experience as well, therapy helps you see if you're projecting old trauma, right? A good therapist is going to sit down and say, hey, your past is causing you to be this way towards this person, and you're going to lose that person, or you're going to push that person away. Do you understand what this person is saying? Do you understand how they feel? Do you understand how they make you feel? So on and so forth. They're going to be able to do that for you. I've been there, and I've those are probably been some of my best eye-opening sessions when in therapy. And you have like mental regulation, probably being one of the biggest ones. And your brain is like the ECU in your car, right? The engine control unit. This is where all the major stuff happens, right? It's the brain of the car. It's the central nervous system of the car. And so is your brain. It's the central nervous system of your body. And therapy can help you regulate whether it's emotional, whether it's stress, a nervous system, anxiety. Like a really good therapist is going to help you with those things. So, the hardest part of this is the finding a good therapist. Now, I'm going to say this with my chest, okay? You don't find a therapist, you hire one. All right. Yeah, it's your obligation to hire a therapist. There's some really great therapists out there that just can't help you because they're not the right kind. You want to hire a therapist. All right. That means you want to interview them. You want to ask them questions on how they operate and how they're going to help you. Now, if you've been watching this show and you have kind of dedicated your life to this 3-bucket philosophy now, where you're sorting it out and you're taking radical responsibility for your life. So you got bucket number 1, bucket number 2, bucket number 3, and you really want to live your life like that and protect your core 4 so you can be resilient. Chances are your therapist in Philadelphia is not going to know what the 3-bucket philosophy is. They're not going to know what the core 4 is. So you have to explain it when you're hiring a therapist. Like, get on a 15-minute call and ask them questions and say, hey, this is how I run my life. What does your practice, or how does your practice translate into that? And I helped you. I'm going to help you guys out. Okay. So here are a few translation guide for you if you're going to go into therapy and talk about certain things regarding the 3-bucket philosophy, the core 4, resilience altogether. All right. So for instance, let's say instead of asking them about, the 3 buckets, you say this, how do you help your clients differentiate between things they can control, the boundaries they need to set with others, and how to tolerate the random chaos of life? That is a great question. And a really good therapist is going to salivate at that question and give you such a robust answer, or maybe not. If they don't give you an answer that sits with you, then that's not the one for you. But if they give you an answer that says, hey, this is how I do it, and it sounds good to you, we're on the right track. Okay. But don't stop there. Another question that you can ask, right? Because ultimately we want to be resilient on this show. I'm saying something like, I currently track my resilience and progress through specific structured pillars: my mental health, my physical capacity, my professional boundaries, and my relationships, right? So how would your therapeutic approach fit into a structured, goal-oriented tracking system? Once again, a really great question that's either going to get them to think about how they do that, or they've been doing it so well that it's going to roll off the tongue and they're going to be able to hit every single point with an answer that's going to make you feel like they're the one. And again, or maybe they don't know. Maybe they're just like, you got me there. Not a good therapist. All right. And then last but not least, you want them to be able to help you navigate this new information that you learned about yourself, your ACE score, your ACEs score, your personality, and your love language. And you're like, hey, I just figured these things out. These are some of the things that have been going wrong in my life. And something that I would ask while you're hiring these people is, I've been looking into my history and personality frameworks. Do you use trauma-informed care, and how do you incorporate personality and behavioral assessments in your treatment plan? This covers all the bases. It covers the 3-bucket philosophy. It covers your core 4. It covers who you are as a person. And it gives them a baseline for who you are as a person, and if they truly can help you. And a great therapist is going to say either yes or no. And that is what it is. So if they answer those questions with a solid mechanical plan, hire them. If they're dodging it and they're going, we'll see how things go, just find another, try again. Okay. Now, it may be daunting to keep trying and trying and trying. That's out of your control. Trying is in your control, but finding ones that don't fit you is out of your control. But the benefits, I cannot talk enough or stress enough the benefits of going to therapy, a really good therapist. All right. I know I said a lot. There's a lot to take in. I have a couple of therapist friends that I'm going to be inviting on my podcast pretty soon. And so if you're thinking about it and you're really like, I have been thinking about it, I just been scared, or you have grew up in a culture where therapy is bad, you don't need therapy, you don't want all your business out there, you got to throw that out the window. Remember, you are responsible for your life. Stop the guesswork. Stop the reactive maintenance. Get into the proactive maintenance, right? Preventative maintenance. You don't need your life to fall apart before you decide to say, okay, I need some help. All right? So remember that. And most importantly, remember, life throws curveballs, but even curveballs can be hit for home run.
You owe it to yourself to get it together. Can't control other people, you can't control the weather. Live in the mind choice bucket where you have full control. Stay disciplined to reach your goal. Life will throw curveballs, but you're not just stand strong at the plate and hit a home